This episode of Pucks Out Podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Action 24/7, Tennessee's only local, legal sportsbook. Use code Pucks Out when you make your first deposit, and our friends over at Action 24/7 will give you a 50% boost up to $800. That's right, up to $400 extra when you use code Pucks Out. And this week, there are some amazing promos and boosts happening with the NBA and the NHL playoffs happening. Head over to our Twitter account at Pucks Out Pod and Action's Twitter or Instagram to find out more. And did you know you can gamble with cash? Are you tired of waiting on your sportsbook? You won, but you can't get your money? No more waiting with Action 24/7. If you want to gamble with cash deposits and withdrawals, get started with Tennessee's only local sportsbook today. Check out the code in the description of this video or the podcast to figure out how. Once again, use code PUCKSOUT. That's PUCKSOUT when you make your first deposit, and our friends at Action 24/7 will give you a 50% boost on your first deposit up to $800. What are you waiting for?
From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome in to the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey-o.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. Got some of that Stones River American Lager today.
Yeah, I got the Angry Redhead. So.
Ooh, I love that one.
Oh, always such a good choice. I had a really weak, payo that time. I was reading this this joke of the week for the first time. I was actually super intrigued by it. So I'm like halfway through. Like I've never read in my life. Usually I go into it and I'm like, oh, I have no idea. Tell me. Super intrigued. Don't forget, Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer of Pucks Out Podcast. Join them every Tuesday for trivia and every Thursday for bingo. And I think on Saturday, Sunday, they've got some yoga. So head on over there on the weekends. Get your mind and body right. Enjoy some good beer and some good friends. Today, you're not required to do the yoga. You're not. You can just go. You can just go on Saturday too.
The Stanley. Today we're talking about the Stanley Cup playoffs, the NBA playoffs, the NFL draft, and the Doctor Strange trailer, which comes out this week. The movie, not the trailer. Trailer's been out. Super excited to see that.
We got exclusive. We got exclusive look in. Disney is taking note of us.
Don't forget to check us out on Patreon to support the show and get early access to shows. And don't forget to come hang out with me and every once in a while Brandon over on our Twitch. Same username as everything out. Pucks Out Pod. Where we play some games, we chat, we talk hockey. We do stuff and interact with you guys at home. How are you this week, bud?
Ooh. It's been a long week, not a bad one, mind you, but a long week. We've had so much going on. We had that crawfish boil at Mayday, put on by Parks Realty, and we were a sponsor. Awesome, man! It was a great event. I was sad we didn't get to stay a little longer because I had to head out to Memphis to go to game one. You had to hold down the Nashville fort and go to the SC game. We've been busy, man. So
Yeah. After you left, I got a little bit toasty at the crawfish boil, and they gave us about 40 pounds of free just crawfish that wasn't eaten, so that was awesome. I got a free cooler out of it. It's missing a handle, and we were like, should we return the cooler? He's like, no, it's missing a handle. Just keep it. I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know that. Yeah, I mean, did the guy ask for it back or?
Well, when someone just gives it, it's got his name all over it. So I was like, should we give this back when we're done?
It'll find its way back, right? It's got his name on it. You had a few, and we were headed to Memphis, and you call me, and you're like, bro, I have the greatest news. And I'm thinking, this is like something in relation to both of us.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, and I was like, and so you get into the crawfish, and I'm thinking like there's gonna be more. I mean, it's a great story, obviously, but it was way built up, and I was like, wait, man. Is the great news about you getting all this extra crawfish? And you're like,
yes.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to know to gauge like where I needed to be. Like, hey, super exciting for my bud, for him to get it. Probably not the right approach for the. It's like I'm driving to Memphis. Like, oh man, that's super awesome that you don't have to drive and you get all this crawfish. Like,
but later that night, we ended up going over to my sister-in-law's house, and I don't know if you've done it. It's my first time doing it. Played Beerio Kart, where before you can finish the race, you have to chug a beer, and you get to decide anytime within the race. Yeah, so I just chugged mine at the beginning. Now, when I get there, I'm already pretty drunk, and they got some like warm Coors Light, or they have a full thing of hard Mountain Dew, cold.
Obviously,
so I'm chugging hard Mountain Dew all night. I easily finished like 12 hard Mountain Dews in a matter of like an hour, 2 hours. Then, we're about to go home. Then one of my, Hannah, my sister-in-law says, hey, who wants to do shots of 151?
Okay.
That obviously happens.
Well, first of all, who would even suggest that? What? That's like, what kind of poor high school party did you go to, Bobby, where we want to ratchet it up with 151 shots?
Well,
we're grown-ups. We can go
just
buy
to be clear,
other liquor.
It was cruising 151, so it was like cruising rum. So it was at least good quality 151. Still burnt because it's still 151.
Because it's 151.
But then went to this place for the first time called Level 3 over in Murfreesboro, and that was a lot of fun. But they get me on stage with my buddy, with my brother-in-law Nate and his buddy, and they don't tell me what song we do until we get up there. But it's like, Jet, are you gonna be my girl? Which it's one of those songs where you're like, oh, I know the words to that song until you have to do karaoke for it, and you're like, I don't know the. So instead, I know like the chorus a little bit.
My girl, and then that's it. You probably don't even know like the full chorus, like just like that one line.
They know it. So I'm just playing crowd work. I get up there and I'm like, hey, how's everyone doing tonight? I can't hear you. Get a little bit louder. They have to share a mic, and for some reason I have my own mic. So the guy who doesn't know all the words has his own mic. It was a great time. And then Nashville SC game, we almost didn't go. I was very hungover.
I would have been real mad at you if you didn't go.
No, for sure. Bro. Yeah, I ended up making it. It's an amazing stadium, amazing time. That was a last minute penalty to tie the game. That was an amazing time. It was a lot of fun.
Won me some money. I got in on that action promo. So
yeah, you're going. I think this weekend. I'm doing Mother's Day at home, so I won't be able to make it out this weekend, but it should be a good time. So. Yeah, let's hop right into it. Let's jump into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
All right, we got ourselves a Spurgeon general warning. I don't know if you saw this. Jared Spurgeon cross-checks into an ankle. I firmly believe that was an intent to injure. He only got a fine and no suspension.
I did. I saw it. I watched the video on the show doc, and I'm really like upset that I watched it because like now my Achilles is like hurting me. Like I'm just like that you felt that pain. Oh my God. I agree, man. I mean there's not only no suspension, but I think it should have been the series, like
100%.
I think you do something like that. That's I didn't like that.
Yeah, that was, and that's not even like something that can be argued. It was just dirty with intent to injure.
It wasn't a part of the play. It was clearly you're done after, and you get mad and you just jam your stick. I mean, that could ruin a guy's career.
Yeah.
Like an Achilles injury. And then you did not have the video on that one. Did you see the Clifford hit?
I did not. I saw that someone got suspended though.
Yeah, Clifford got one game for a boarding call, and it was pretty substantial. Let me see if I can find a video real quick. You can move us into the next spot. I'll try to post a link.
Norris winning defenseman PK Subban helped the Preds on their historical run. All-time probably Canadian great. Has become a UFA at the end of this season. His contract has not been renewed by New Jersey. However, a name like that, he's gonna get picked up. So I mean, he's not gonna, he's not gonna be a free agent for long.
And especially if he's not demanding, anything big time or anything like that, as far as money wise, I'll bet you that could keep him sidelined. Do you think that he comes back, or do you think that? I mean, it's a guy that's made a lot of money.
I think he still plays.
Retire?
I don't think he retires. I think he plays. I think he's got a love for the game that, I mean, obviously I'm speaking, anecdotally. I don't know what's going on inside of his brain.
Breaking news, everybody! This is PK Subban's agent. He'll be making a statement for him. No, I'm with you. I hear you. It was just more of a thought process that he's had some injury concerns, and if not making $8 million a year, does he not want to spend his time doing something else? Hey, I think he makes the league better, so I'm obviously glad to have him there. But just the thought that, hey, I mean, at what point do you stop subjecting yourself to?
And with that name, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls 4.5 a year. I mean, because it always comes down to a guy like that. He's still a Norwich over. He can, with proper training in the right spot on the right team. He can. I mean, he's only like 3 years off from being a top tier elite defenseman. It's not like it was 5. It's not like it was 8 years ago.
Not at all. But I think the bigger concern comes with a lot of his injuries being back related. I mean, that's such a hard thing to come through. But and to your point, does he go to a team like, let's say, Florida or Colorado to maybe help them win, or does he go and get a little bit more money at a place like Arizona to maybe draw in a few, some crowd there?
Hell, maybe he comes back to Nashville.
I can unretire some jerseys I've got hanging up over here, buddy.
I wore mine today. I'm wearing mine right now.
There you go. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's endless. I know he loved Nashville. I know he loved Montreal. I'm sure just with the kind of guy he is, he did his best to love New Jersey. I don't know that anybody truly can love New Jersey, not being from there, right?
If your name's not Tony Soprano, you don't love New Jersey.
You don't even, exactly. I did put that video up there for you if you want to take a quick look at that. So we can talk about it, because that one did result in a 1-game suspension. And while I think it was deserving of the 1-game suspension, I felt like the other, but from Spurgeon, was much worse and a lot less hockey of a play.
Yeah.
You see it?
I think I saw it was.
They're going to show you a couple different angles.
Okay. I was looking at the wrong.
I mean, he gets him pretty clean.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
He got him good. He
leaned into it as well.
Oh yeah, and he just skated away like nothing happened. And it was
that's an elbow right in the back.
Hit.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Which I don't know what we're moving into. I guess we'll talk Stanley Cup in a minute, but that got a 5-minute major, obviously, and for game misconduct, and then a 2-minute boarding. And the Leafs went 7 straight minutes on and just held them to like 3 shots. I think it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
I watched a lot more of that game than I did any other.
Yeah, that was an absolute piss poor performance by Tampa, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's head on into outside the NHL now.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
All right.
Switch into the evil octopus.
Ooh, I like it. Nashville SC opening game. We talked a little bit before. That place is awesome. I love that from the, I don't love the prices of the concessions, but I do love how you can almost always see the field from where you are.
It was absolutely, I had a picture of it, but I'm sure you could have gone and looked up not gonna send it to him because I think it was better. It better served me.
Yeah.
Walking in with no real thought process of what it was gonna look like, and I hope it was. It was probably even more amazing for you getting to go in with everybody and all the fans and stuff. I bet it was awesome, man. I was so jealous that I had to miss that game.
Yeah. The NFL draft. I didn't watch it. I kept up with it. My Commanders didn't really do a lot that I really hope they got, what's his name? And his name escapes me now. Kyle Pickett's or whatever.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett's.
You mean little baby hands, Kenny?
Yeah.
That was the big thing with everybody was that he has small hands.
Yeah, there's that picture going around. You like those novelty AirPods? It was
Sassa sent me that today.
Like here's him holding a regular sized AirPod.
The better one that Sass sent me though was the Arthur one when Arthur's mad and he's clenching his fist.
Yeah,
but they had like a little baby hand. He was like, and it said Kenny Pickett looking at all these memes about his small hands, and it had it clenched, but it was like a little baby one.
That's funny.
Man, I don't know, man. I'm gonna probably put some money on Washington to win the division. I think that.
I'm gonna do that, but that's because
that's because you're an idiot.
Well, I'm a glutton for punishment, so why wouldn't I?
Well, I understand your point, but I came and believed in Dallas last year, but I really liked what Washington did. I really liked, not necessarily a whole lot in the draft, but I think Carson Wentz was a good ad for Washington for sure. I did watch the draft. It was, you know what the thing is that they have done, and I guess we've made the calls for it, was that they stopped giving us all these personal stories. They don't have to tell us. They're not like, oh, well, this is Joe Stevenson. He slept on 3 cinder blocks and a bale of straw for 40 years before getting his opportunity to come to NFL. Congratulations, guy. That I never really liked that. It was always kind of like, this guy's come through some adversity.
Well, see, now what I want them to go the opposite direction now that there's the NIL. I want them to be like, this guy made $3.5 million from Big Red his junior year of college.
Yeah, exactly. Now we can go, this guy, as you can see, he's got a full sleeve of tattoos. He paid for none of those. Those are all locally given by business owners now.
You gotta love that forehead Fig Newton tattoo. I mean, it is a beaut.
It is distracting, but he does love Fig Newtons.
So go ahead.
Oh no, you got it.
So what do you think was the best value as far as like what team got the best value?
The Eagles.
Okay.
The Eagles. I mean, they gave up untested rookie receiver for AJ Brown. I mean, how much better of a value can you get in the draft than a proven commodity?
100% agree with you. I was talking more about like value as in who drafted. No, but I agree.
I know what you were talking about.
Because I was going to talk about that, and you make a good point. I really liked, and I had it written down. The Bengals. They with their 31st pick, Daxton Hill.
I really like
defensive back. I mean, he was ranked by some people like in the top 20, and they got him at 31. Also, really like Jermaine Johnson to the Jets. I mean, they've been needing some sack guys.
Kyle Hamilton dropped way too far. I think that landing spot at the for the Ravens was a really good pick for them. I thought Washington was going to get Kyle Hamilton. I thought it would have been a steal for them at 11. I really liked that Kyle Hamilton pick a whole lot. I think that it's hard for me to say that the Titans didn't get a good value on a potential, future quarterback. Will he be the future of the Titans? Who knows? But a 3rd round pick is always worth that chance. So Malik Willis going there. I didn't hate the pick as much as I think that, we don't have a super disagreement on Tannehill. I don't think that he's necessarily the quarterback of the future, but I think that a game managing quarterback can win a Super Bowl if necessary. But I really did like that pick by the Titans. I think that if Trayvon Burks becomes the guy that people think he can be, then the AJ Brown trade doesn't look so bad down.
Yeah, of course.
But
that's easier said than done.
Easier said than done. It's going to be hard if he's not immediately great, especially for a guy like AJ Brown that was pretty great early on too. I think the fans are going to have a hard time wrapping your head around here. I mean, I'm guessing probably money. Money has to be the thing, right? Like that's the only reason that you make a trade like that, because value doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, and personally, I am obviously the Titans maybe saw something, because personally, I think AJ Brown's the kind of guy that you don't lose over the pennies that they lost him over. I think that if there is nothing wrong and they were just penny pinching, shame on the Titans. That is windows are only open for so long, and AJ Brown is the kind of guy that can help, get you over the hump and, lift the Lombardi trophy.
I think I 100% agree. Don't hear what I'm not saying, but you got to play a little bit of devil's advocate. Guys like John Robinson and Mike Vrabel are guys that have. It's a lot like not trusting David Poyle at this point. Like, they've earned a little bit. Okay, let's see what happens there. Robert Woods is not big talked about addition.
I thought that was such a massive pickup. That is a guy who on almost any team in the NFL, except for where he's been, would be a wide receiver number one.
That's exactly right. And I think it kind of, for us, I think we've maybe briefed on it, but it kind of fell weird in between, like when it happened and when it happens for us, hockey and all that. But I think that, a lot of people are forgetting who Bobby Woods is. And, Bobby Trees is gonna score us some points, So I think that got to kind of give the benefit of the doubt. That doesn't mean that we're not allowed to question it and say,
I mean,
what's up?
Yeah, and another thing about the Titans is that I like their pickup of the quarterback. What was it? What'd you say his name was? Was it Malik Willis?
Malik Willis, yeah.
Malik Willis. And I think something came up where Tannehill was asked maybe about like if he's going to help mentor the guy, and he just kind of blew it off, which is fine. His job is not to mentor young quarterbacks. He's not a coach. His job is to be a starter and win a Super Bowl for you.
A lot of people forget that. We all love that competitive, like, hey, that's our team. Like, we want you to, but
you're fighting for a job.
Your boss comes in and is like, hey, I hired this guy, and eventually he's gonna be your replacement. Show him everything you know. Like what? Like
the best was over on Twitter. Kurt Warner put out a thing. It was like, I don't get these young millennials not wanting to train the younger guys,
boy.
But then he says, any young new quarterbacks in the league, feel free to DM me and I will give you all the information you need to be a starter. He has his DMs turned off so nobody can DM him.
Hey, shut up, bag boy. Nobody cares that you won a couple Super Bowls. Also like I just wanted to say I like the Lions draft. Getting Aiden Hutchinson at 2, and then being able to come back at 12 and get Jamison Williams, a guy that has dominated the SEC and can dominate in the NFL, like we've seen with these big time Alabama receivers. Not that I think that they're going to do anything with it. I'm just saying I think it's a good draft. If another team would have had this draft, they would have been very excited about it.
I don't think it's much of a debate. I think it's pretty much certain. The worst, the team who did the worst in the draft. I think we can everyone agree it's the Patriots. They had an absolutely horrid draft.
I will never concede that point, because I said that one time too. When a dumb coach GM took 2 tight ends back to back in the same round, like the 3rd round. I was like, what an idiot. Those guys were Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. The hoodie sees something that we don't see. He lives on a different plane of life.
I mean,
we do.
Those picks absolutely killed it.
And according if I was Mel Kiper, then yeah. I mean, as far as grading and all that stuff, sure, absolutely, it was the worst pick in the draft. But I'm not so sold that it actually was. I'll tell you whose draft I really didn't like. The Saints. I did not like that trade up for Chris Olave. I didn't like that. I thought that was a reach.
Yeah. Hey, Honey Badger's going home though. Tyrann Mathieu is heading back to the Bayou.
That's gonna be that's all. That's a guy that you always want to add for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, not a question. I think that the steal for a steal that I didn't talk about was Washington. Your boys getting Jahan Dotson. I watched that kid play at Penn State against Auburn. We were there. He's nasty, dude. He is absolutely nasty. He doesn't have Kenny Pickett hands, so you don't have to worry about that. They're large and in charge. So I think Washington, while I can understand your disappointment, I mean, I think it was an overall okay draft for a team that's already
and here's the
the
thing.
way up.
Washington fans, we've come to learn that we're always going to be disappointed because it's what we're used to. But I'm just happy we didn't go for like the flashiest name. Now, this draft, there wasn't really a huge flashy name. There was no RG3 of this draft, really, because that's what they like to do. Because Dan Snyder is a piece of shit, likes to meddle, and likes to say, "Oh, whatever name's the flashiest, we're gonna sell whatever assets we can to get that guy." And I'm glad that wasn't the case this season.
I'm glad for you guys. I mean, I like Riverboat Ron. I really like a lot of the guy. I really like a lot of the guys on the team Washington has put together. And it's my boy's team. Like, hey, I'm gonna root for him if it doesn't affect me and or my money. If it doesn't affect my money, if it realistically is more what I'm talking about. But I think that I agree. Not having that flash, that Travis Etienne that we're gonna reach up into the first round for. It was a solid core, great for an NFL team, bad for a fantasy, a dynasty fantasy team. Like there's not a lot of rookies. There's a whole lot of questions about who to take in a rookie draft now. So,
all right. So the NBA playoffs is also happening right now. Right now, Memphis is going against Golden State, and that's really the only matchup I know about because that's the only one I care about. Tonight, I do have money on Golden State, but I want Memphis to win, but my money's on Golden State tonight.
Man, that was a tough loss being there. I showed you yesterday the dope, Vancouver Grizzlies Mike Bibby. I couldn't wear it 2 days in a row. It's too hot, Bob. It's too hot. And it was a heartbreaking loss.
Yeah.
Because it felt like everything went right. Everything went right for you, and you still lost that game. Draymond got tossed out early. You had people in foul trouble. You had Clay barely able to do anything. You had bomb games from your two best players in Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant, and you weren't able to pull it off. So it bodes not well to me for this series for Memphis, and that sucks because it's a rough draw because Golden State is a good team. I would not be surprised to see the Grizz get swept, and nothing to their fault other than you're playing a championship caliber team.
I don't think they get swept. I think when you got a talent like Ja Morant, that you don't get swept. I think he's the kind of player.
I'm wrong.
I think he's the kind of player that at a bare minimum shows up and steals you. I mean, he almost, and I don't want to say steal that game because like you said, they did everything right. I mean, he was a couple inches away from winning that game. And listen, not blaming him. That happens sometimes at sports. Sometimes the drops don't fall.
They won the turnover battle. They won the rebounding battle. They won everything that they tell you you're supposed to win, and you win a basketball game. Memphis won it, and they did it in an amazing fashion. It was one of those things where Memphis controlled the game the whole time. It was, if you weren't watching a scoreboard, you would think Memphis was up by 15, 20 points most of the game. But it was just a quiet game from the Warriors. They just
Yeah.
Just kept on keeping on. It was a tough loss. But to speak to your to the other series in the NBA, Milwaukee and the Celtics. Bucks lead the series 1-0. We have the 76ers and the Heat. Heat lead the series 1-0. Mavericks and the Suns, and the Suns lead the series 1. So those are your remaining teams. Any thought on who's taking home a ship?
I mean, I think it's either going to be Milwaukee or Golden State.
Okay.
Honestly.
Oh yeah.
So.
I mean, it's hard to bet against Milwaukee right now. I don't see any way that Milwaukee doesn't win in my mind. I mean, they're looking good even without Chris Middleton.
Yeah. All right. Deandre Hopkins suspended the first 6 games of this coming up season for breaking the PED rules. He claims it's BS and says he will get to the bottom of this and he will turn over all evidence. He made a post pretty much saying that, he has pretty much lived his professional life using holistic resources and things like that. He has a team of people who help him stay on track and eat healthy, rehab, and that he is going to work with, and that this is a mistake and that he'll be working with the league the whole time to get it cleared up. So as someone who owns him in a dynasty, I hope so.
Yeah.
Not too certain about it.
You seemed like you seemed more hopeful in reading that the holistic stuff than anything. We've all heard this before, right? We've all heard the cry of what? So we'll see. Maybe it's right. And sometimes it does happen that way. Like it's some stupid supplement that they've just recently added or something to the list. Or hey, all good if that's what it is. Probably not though, right? Probably not. Probably not.
He's like, wait, when did anabolic steroids get added to the list?
He's like, look, I thought I was doing heroin. It was just a guy. He was shooting shots into my butt. I didn't know it was steroids.
My dealer's name is Nate Urell, also known as Natural. So it's all natural, bro.
I don't. They call him holistic. Okay, so come on. I'm good.
The NFL claims that the Browns taking allegations from Hugh Jackson cannot be substantiated. No shocker there. I mean, the NFL investigated the NFL and found that nothing happened. I mean,
it's like
shocker.
It's like the IAD. I cannot believe that we have got this result. Like, this is crazy. No, to be fair, those were bad teams, Hugh. Those were bad teams, and you were a bad coach. So,
I mean, listen, if I'm a coach who has a losing record, I'd say, I tanked. I was told to tank.
Tanking.
I'm not that bad. In fact, I am so good at my job.
I'm a company man.
Yeah.
I'm a company man.
I win almost 100% win when I was supposed to lose. Boom.
What up with it?
I am almost unwon, which is exactly what was supposed to happen.
Look, the Jaguars, 2 first-round picks in a row. Number 1 pick in a row. So no tanking happening there. But that one is true. They just hired Urban Meyer, which is
also tanking.
Technically, you're tanking, but it wasn't Urban's fault to tank. He didn't choose to. He's just who he is. So
if you want your team to move, if you're an owner and you want your team to move cities, you just hire Urban Meyer.
Urban.
All right, let's move into our main topic of the day. Obviously, we're talking the Stanley Cup Finals. We did our bracket challenge to see where it leads up. So far, as of recording, we record on Tuesdays. There's been one night of games, and it was a doozy. I mean, that Toronto-Tampa score over on the fantasy games, we did our fantasy playoff pool. I'm looking real good out the gate with my Toronto players.
You're looking real stout.
But again, after the first round, I may not have them. And the way Carolina played, I've got the Bergeron, Pasternak, and Marchand line. There's a good chance that they might also not be around after the first round. So hopefully Colorado steals the show for me. So what are your first thoughts after last night's games?
We are in for what we always expect. the greatest playoffs in all of professional sports. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the scores. I didn't get to watch all of the late games. I watched a little bit of the Blues Wild game. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I watched a little bit of the Blues Wild game. I didn't get to see any of the Edmonton Kings game. But what I can tell you is it didn't feel like the scores were indicative of the games that we got. We got a bunch of 5-0, 5-1.
Well, the Tampa Toronto game, the score was indicative. To be honest,
It ended up being that way. That first
Yeah.
period was a really strong period. Yes, that one ended up being that way. I'm just saying overall the scores seemed to. I mean, that Boston Carolina game was not. They scored like 2 goals right there in the last little bit that made it a much bigger game. They won the game the whole time. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that Carolina stole that game. They were the clear better team.
Yeah.
But it was just good hockey all night.
Yeah.
From what I watched.
Those of you that listened to us last week know that we did a quick preview, and the Preds' epic collapse in that game 82.
We were
completely
close,
screwed
man.
us.
We were so close, man. We almost had.
So let's do a quick rundown of the matchups and just say who you've got and how many games. Starting off with Colorado Nashville. Game 1 is tonight of the night of recording. I've got Colorado in 5.
Colorado in 5 as well.
Obviously, Nashville fan, as you can see. And listen, I would love to be wrong. Absolutely love to be wrong.
Sure.
It would completely screw up my bracket because I've got Colorado winning the whole damn thing. But I don't. They are just too stout.
I agree. I mean, it's not a good matchup for us. Could we go out there and win it? Yeah, this is the NHL. Anybody can win any series.
Last week I was mistaken. I said that that Colorado won the season series 3-1. Preds won the season series 3-1. So that
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
at least listen, playoff hockey is a different game, but that's
absolutely
that's got to give the players confidence going into this kind of thing.
This is the best case scenario situation for Preds. A team who cares who they are, what they've done.
Yeah.
I mean, you play this team so many times that you know what move Nathan McKinnon's going to do to you. He's probably still going to beat you 7 times out of 10, but it's not 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, all you need Forsberg to match him and to beat their guy at the other end.
Yeah, absolutely can happen. But we got to be a little logical. I mean, we could just go out crazy, but we always fight each other. We always face each other on stuff. And that's really how we judge ourselves. So we got to be go with the smart thing here, I think. So Wild Blues, who do you got?
I've got Minnesota in 7. Even though the St. Louis did play well last night, I think Minnesota's the better team.
There's no way you have Minnesota in 7.
Yes, I do.
I have Minnesota in 7 as well.
Nice.
We promised we didn't gear up, team up for this. So now, I mean, we obviously made this before the series started. I don't know how confident I am in that Minnesota in 7.
I'm still confident in it. I think that Minnesota's too good. I mean, listen, I could obviously be wrong. Been wrong once before in my life. I could be wrong for a second time.
One or 2 times max.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not super not confident on it, but it's just, I mean, that St. Louis.
But hey, that's why I said in
night.
7 games, because 7 games means that Minnesota's going. I think Minnesota's going to lose some games. I don't have them sleeping.
You thought this is speaking to your point, right?
Yeah. This makes me more right.
Yeah, exactly.
Calgary versus Dallas. And maybe we're the same on this. I've got Calgary in 6.
I also have Calgary in 6.
It's almost as if we've been hosting a podcast together for almost 2 years.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Calgary in 6. Dallas is a team that can go out there and win it, though. This was one that I was like, all right, look, well, I'm gonna go with my head and not my heart. But my heart, I wanted to say Dallas in 6. If we're being honest, I think this is a team that steps up to the plate when they need to, and so I'll be interested to watch that series.
Yeah. I think this is a matchup where home ice advantage really does matter.
It does.
I think so.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have Calgary in 6 there. But I mean, but to your point, if when Dallas is at home, they can steal one in Calgary. It could easily.
Yeah.
Dallas. I doubt we'll be on the same page on this next one.
I doubt it. I've got Edmonton versus Los Angeles. Los Angeles took the first game. I think that's the only one they take. I've got Edmonton in 5.
I have Edmonton in 5. I thought you were going Los Angeles. I have Edmonton in 5 as well. Probably not going to happen.
Los Angeles looked good last night.
They looked real good. And so I'm a little nervous about that pick as well. But at least we get to show, hey, that's what I also
So
have.
far, we are calling it. I mean, so far we're right.
So far we're 100% right. We have not been eliminated at all.
All right, so now over to the other side of the bracket, Florida versus Washington. I've got Florida in 6.
Okay, I have Florida in 4. So we finally have diverged. We finally diverged a little bit. I have Florida winning in 4. I think they're just too much for a team that really has fallen down the stretch.
I think those extra 2 games, Washington is able to win off experience. I honestly would not be surprised if Washington comes out and win and takes a 2-0 lead, but then the talent of Florida starts clicking, and they can then they're on that stage. They've been hit. They go out there and they play their game, and they win 4 in a row after losing 2.
That was my only thought process as well. It was either 4 or 6 for me. Either, like you said, Oshie, Carlson, Ovechkin are going to will them. They're going to will them to 2 wins, or they're getting none. I don't think it's going to be like a 5 game or 7 game. I think it's either going to be 4 games or it's going to be 6 games.
Yeah.
And Florida has just been too strong, been too complete of a team this year for me to think they're even going to lose.
Yeah. Now, this next one, I know for a fact there's no way we are the same. If the rhetoric you and I have said off the podcast is right, I've got Tampa Bay in 6.
Okay. I have Toronto in 6. So we finally diverged on a pick. I think that last night's game really speaks more to my side than it does to your side.
Well, yeah. I don't think that happens again. I don't think Tampa Bay goes out and embarrasses himself like they did last night. I think that I think that almost any team in the NHL could have beaten Tampa Bay last night. They looked so bad, discombobulated after you go almost 7 minutes without scoring on a man advantage. That ruins you. That's a night ruiner for most NHL teams. And
100% agree on that.
I mean, if they had capitalized on that major, if they had gotten 2 goals in that major, that's a completely different game. I think they controlled that game the entire time, but they got shut down and humiliated.
Absolutely. But I will say this is something that we haven't seen from Toronto. They look like they're on a mission. They were playing with, such race almost. Like, I don't think it was necessarily that Tampa Bay played that bad. I think it was more that Toronto played that good. Everything was working. Zone work.
Yeah.
They were getting shorthanded chances, every chance they could get. So I'm with you. Hey, if there's any team that can play that well in game 1 and then drop this series, it's going to be Toronto.
And if there's any team that can play that bad and then turn around and win this series, it's Tampa Bay. I think right now, what's happening right now is worst case scenario for Toronto. I think, obviously a win's great. You're up. A win like that for a team like Toronto against a team like Tampa Bay, that's scary. If I'm a Toronto fan, I'm scared.
I would prefer to have that. I would rather have that one game 1 though. I would rather start with the 1-0 lead.
I'm not talking about winning the game. I'm talking about the way they won that game.
Scaring you for game 2.
If we're sitting here and they won an overtime and it was a close game, cool. You fought it out. You win that game. You better beat on a team, a back-to-back championship team like that. They're coming after you, and they are not making those mistakes again. This is a team that knows how to win championships.
I don't disagree with what you're saying at all. I mean, I'm on that nervous edge too. That we'll see. We'll see what Toronto, if they play like they played last night, they could sweep this series. Do we think that's going to happen? I don't, obviously. I mean, obviously, even if I think Toronto's going to win it, I think they're winning in 6. We hadn't heard the last of Tampa, and your prediction is still in play just as much as mine is.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you
got? Carolina
got?
versus Boston. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Oh, you're good. We gotta adjust on the online, so we're all good. What do you got?
I've got Carolina in 7, which I feel less comfortable about after last night.
I have Carolina in 7 as well. I think I agree with you. I think it could be 5. Or
I think it could be 4.
I mean,
that would be real bad for my fantasy pool. But
I think it could be 6. That was the only one we hadn't. That was the only one we hadn't guessed yet. Carolina looked good. 7. If there's a team that can take it to 7, though, Boston's that team.
Yeah. I have a little bit of a mini snaps my stick real quick. Okay. Carolina won their division. In what world is Carolina an underdog in this postseason? Barry Melrose said that that Carolina is his underdog pick in the postseason to win this Kings Cup. They are not an underdog. They are the number 1 seed in their division.
I got in on them. Game 1 in Carolina. I got a bet in on them at -120 for a home team division winner that had They were the team that had
insane.
the most players like over 50 points, right? Like they had their points were coming from everywhere. I was like, oh, I can't not take that. I mean, I'm a Boston believer. I don't think that they're gonna. Obviously, I think they're gonna take it to the brink.
Yeah.
But that is a pure disrespect.
Yeah. Listen, I respect Barry Melrose. I think he's amazing.
Sure.
But that is, in my opinion, just dishonest. They're not an underdog.
Hey, get on board, Barry. We put our future bets in on Carolina a long time ago.
If that's the case, I'm going to make the hottest take in the world. Colorado is my underdog team to win it all.
As your underdog pick. So. What do you got on New York and Pittsburgh?
This one hurt my soul. I am a huge Igor Shesterkin fan. I like Artemi Panarin. I've got Pittsburgh in 7.
Okay. I have New York in 6.
Okay. And honestly, I could see it.
If it goes to 7 games, you win. There's no question to me. If it goes to 7 games, Pittsburgh wins game 7.
I think Sidney Crosby doesn't lose a game 7.
Right. And so I agree with that. It has to be New York in 6 or it's Penguins in 7 for me. No question. But I believe it. I think they're going to get out. They're going to get out to an early lead. And I think they have to, in my opinion. You were super not confident in one of your picks. This is the one that I'm least confident in.
Yeah,
I don't think that
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was fairly confident before any of the games started. All these, this was a game to me was a coin flip. I truly believe.
Yeah.
I believe this is the one game that I'm confident it's going to 7, and it's a coin flip to me. This is a good series. I'm excited to watch this series.
I am too. I'm super excited.
Now
game's on, right?
Now
game is actually on.
It's 6-11, yeah. So now we can actually go forward because
Pittsburgh's up 8-0 already. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh! You
no,
that?
No, it's like 5 seconds. It's like 5 seconds in.
Okay, I was gonna say, well, my overhit that was easy. I actually didn't take the over because it was at 6.5. I wasn't taking 6.5 in this game. Not with Igor.
So are we going to continue? Are we going all the way? Or are we just going to keep?
Hey, we agree. If we didn't agree as much as we did, then sure, yeah.
Okay. So, Avs, Minnesota. Who you got? It doesn't have game choices on this.
Yeah, well, clearly I've got Colorado winning the whole thing. So I've got Colorado winning, and I'm going to say Colorado in 6.
Okay, Colorado in 6. I have Colorado. I have Colorado in 5 on that as well.
Yeah, I mean that also could easily happen. Unfortunately, with this kind of thing, who knows what injuries could occur? I mean, this is still like weeks out. As it stands now, I think Colorado could easily win this in 5 or 6 games. Calgary versus Edmonton. I've got Calgary winning that, and honestly,
Same.
I think Calgary could sweep Edmonton.
Yeah, I would
Maybe
go
5.
Calgary in 6. Calgary in 6. I think the superstars in Edmonton will them to a couple.
Yeah, that's going to be a chippy matchup and a great.
Let's
fun
just
matchup
stay
to
in
watch.
Let's just stay in the West. Calgary. We both have Calgary, Avalanche. Who do you have moving on in that series? Obviously.
Calgary. I think that is.
Well,
I think
that, Avalanche. You have the Avalanche.
Yeah,
on, right?
Colorado. Sorry, I meant Colorado.
Yeah.
I think that is the best. That would be the best matchup in the entire playoffs, and I think that
I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with that, but I do have Colorado moving on, and I do have it as a top tier matchup. Sure.
Yeah. So now Florida, you've got Florida, Toronto. I got Florida, Tampa Bay. I've got Tampa Bay beating Florida. I've got beating
Florida
them in 7.
moving on. Florida moving on. And we didn't have game picks, but I would say Florida in 6.
Yeah.
Then we have Carolina, and you have Pittsburgh, and I have New York.
And I've got Carolina beating either of those teams.
Okay. I actually have New York moving on, beating Carolina in this series.
Yeah.
So I have New York playing Florida, and I have Florida moving on.
Yeah. I like to pick the underdog. That's why I went with Carolina.
Sure. you just like guys that have slid into the playoffs, just barely made it in. I know how you are, bud. I know how you are.
So I've got Tampa Bay versus Carolina in the Eastern Conference Final. I've got Tampa Bay going to the final.
Okay. You got Tampa Bay, Colorado. I have Florida, Colorado. Who you got winning?
Yeah, I've got Colorado in 6. I think Tampa Bay is a good team. I don't think they're good enough to beat Colorado.
I got Florida in 7. This is so hard. The tiebreaker was so hard for me. I ended up putting like 37.
I bet 31
series. Okay, so I mean, I didn't know like how close I was. I tried to like kind of do like some quick.
Yeah.
Head,
it's like like 6 goals a game, 7 goals a game, maybe.
Right. So 37-31. It sounds like we're actually right about the same level because you have 6 games.
Yeah.
31, and I have 7 and 37. So
yeah,
that sounds about right to me. I can't believe how close we were on that first.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, very rarely do we actually fully disagree on a lot of takes with hockey. I mean, we're usually on the same same wavelength. We just bicker. We just bicker about very minute, things within the same. Like we agree, but we're like, oh well, I like the same thing, but in this shade of green, you like it in that shade of green.
Collar McBroken, I guess is what I was thinking of. Connor McDavid's stick is actually this long, not this long. Just stupid stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
I'm pumped, man.
Yeah, but hey, speaking of making your stick look longer, why don't you tell us about our friends over at Manscaped?
Yeah, man. Rolled me right into that. I personally like my lawnmower 4.0 because it's a lot like the NBA playoffs. It's nickless. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of what our friends over at Manscaped have given. Support for Pucks Out Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off, free worldwide shipping with the code PUCKSOUT. That's PUCKSOUT at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's 8 million balls. 8 million balls? Is that correct, Bob? I'm not good at math.
Answer on the board. Yes.
Put it on the. Oh, okay. I felt like you were like my Steve Harvey right there. The Performance Package 4.0 has arrived, and it's a game changer. Let me tell you what this bad boy includes. Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, and the Crop Reviver toner. performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. I've told you, I hate saying travel bag when that's the shed, okay? That is the shed. You're going to want that bad boy. It's wonderful. Don't forget the Lawnmower 4.0, waterproof. So no more worried about mess all over the bathroom floor. You can just leave that in the shower for somebody else to clean up for you. But to reiterate, time to take care of yourself. Manscaped.com. Use code PUCKSOUT for free shipping and 20% off. That's PUCKSOT. Manscaped.com.
There's a U in there, but yeah.
I can't spell. PUCKSOUT at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping. Don't use that other code. Some other joker's going to get all of our credit, man. Some other joker's going to get all of our credit.
Thank you again to Manscaped for sending us some awesome stuff, supporting the show.
Love it.
But time to move on to Games of the Week.
Games of the Week. Bobby and Brandon do the work so you don't have to. The best from around the NHL and what to watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in and out, I would like to thank you for being here as I accept the award for this year's Games of the Week with a final record of 81, 45-3 with a 64.29 win percentage. I take the W this year. Now, I would like to say thank you for the sportsmanship that my opponent has had this season. He had an impressive...
I don't do that a lot. I don't do that a lot.
He had an impressive record of 69. It's a nice record. 57-3 with a 54.76 winning percentage. I think, you know what? I'm not just the winner, but you, not you, Brandon, you, the viewer, are also the winner. Because if you were to bet on every single one of our games, you could, according to some people out there, could be a billionaire right now. I'm just saying that. Like, scientifically, mathematically, you could be a billionaire if you follow our logic. So
mathematically, 100%.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So I think we'll add to our resume billionaire makers.
Billionaire makers.
Yeah.
There was that time that I gave you. I obviously was bested by you this year. 81 wins this year. That's such a solid record. But nobody will forget that time in the season where I gave them a 5-day in a row parlay.
Yeah.
I won somebody hundreds of thousands of dollars right there.
You get the season award for you get the 5-0 trophy, which is amazing.
I get the 5-0 trophy. That's the only one ever given out.
Yeah. It's amazing.
But no, hey, seriously, congratulations, man. One of our fun things. I'm super excited about doing it this year to actually see the money that we could win these picks. I think we decided that this year everything's the same, but we put $1 on each game, and we just see at the end of the year where our money is.
Well, you know what's going to happen.
Imagine you made some good money. You went with some underdogs a good amount of the time.
A year from now, we're going to be sitting here. One of us will win, and we'll say, one of us will say, I won with a win percentage of 31%. I may have won in the records, but my wallet lost.
Right.
Yeah.
That's going to be the key to kind of see how much we got away with just picking a favorite. And not that we both didn't do it. This isn't I had the same opportunity to pick games as you did, but how much of this is, we actually didn't really win money because the times that we did pick that underdog, they lost, and then the times that we picked that super favorite, they only won us 9 cents. So I will be interested to see. Obviously, just picking games, that's impressive. But I'm interested to see how it's going to match up against, for sure.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I hope you don't wear me out again like you did last year. That was.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I pretended a lot, but it was not as fun. It's not as fun as I made it out to be.
But all right, guys, time to move into our joke of the week, and I'm actually very excited about this joke of the week.
Me too.
the weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each sixth chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
Canadian astronauts no longer free to rob and kill with abandon in space or on the moon. I mean, what a headline. First off, we are big fans of headlines here, and I'm scrolling through Reddit, and I see that, and I'm like, what? And it is an amazing headline. Most of all, I'm disappointed that my dream of being a space pirate is no longer viable. But I can still be an American space pirate, I guess.
That's what I was about to say. We're not even Canadian. This is literally I haven't seen any. I haven't read the whole article. I read quite a bit of it, more than any I've ever read in any article that we've ever put up. And I didn't see anything about anywhere else enacting this. So essentially,
they're the first.
What you've thrown down. What you've thrown down is it's taken away the ability to commit crime in space, like you said, because you're technically not within jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And the reason this came about was there was a crime committed by none other than the thugs over at the U.S. Space Agency. Is that correct? It was the U. It was.
I didn't read the article, so I don't know.
Yeah. Astronaut Anne McLean was accused by her estranged spouse, Summer Warden, of unlawfully using an ISS computer to access Warden's online bank account, which Warden contended was a form of identity theft. This is the best part of this for me. The allegations were subsequently found to be false, and now Warden stands accused of lying to U.S. investigators. So not only was this chick not going to go to jail because she was good to do whatever she did in space because there's no laws, but now you're going to go to jail for lying.
Listen,
about her.
If you're going to accuse someone of a computer crime, don't accuse someone who uses NASA computers. That's like the one agency that they can easily figure this out.
I mean, if you're gonna sneak on, it's like, hey, who logged onto this computer?
Well, there's only 9 people on this space station.
I don't know. Maybe
what if this is like what started like the next World War? She was like, it was the Russian guy.
Lucy back there, she is looking really fishy. She's looking fishy. That's all I'm saying. But what a funny thing. Yeah, I mean, it's funny to think about because like when I was reading through it, like apparently this has like been like a big thing for like legal scholars. Like they'd be like, hey, you gotta enact something so some laws in space. But apparently, if you don't like somebody, you just murder them. It's all good. Like there ain't no laws about murder.
I like to think that this is just a cover story, and actually there has been a huge issue with Canadian space pirates. Just rolling up and like, hey buddy, give me all your space booty, eh?
Right. Like, are you an alien or Canadian, man? Like, get out of here. It's like a Mountie. It's like all of their
the horse has like a little space bubble helmet on.
They're like chasing like the Canadian criminals through space.
It's space, so it can't make sound, so they're doing the Monty Python thing with coconuts to make noise.
Well, what still wouldn't make sound, right? The vacuum of space is why it doesn't.
They have a little bubble in there too, just to make the noise
around it, so they can know they're actually
know
moving.
the sounds we made. No one else does.
What a joke that we didn't already have rules in space. Like we have to have had rules.
Well, yeah, right? They're probably like, wait, we have regular people going to space now? That's going to get out of hand real quick.
Right. Jeff Bezos is distraught to hear about the laws in space.
He's like, wait, the only reason I wanted to go to space was to commit tax fraud. Now I have no reason.
I can ban unions in space, okay? So Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are pissed about Canada doing this for sure.
Yeah, but I'm looking to see if there's anything else. They had something called the 1998 ISS Treaty that pretty much just covered like if you broke a law, you were governed by your own laws, but there was no law about if you committed against another person in space. So that's really what it's about.
So if you were like a Saudi Arabian like astronaut, you could totally kill a woman, and it would be no big deal because you're governed by Saudi Arabian laws. Is that it? Do we have a big Saudi Arabian following?
I
is
think
it low?
It's kind of low. I mean, we got a couple. There's 3 or 4.
They're probably on our side, right?
Yeah, I'd have to go back. I think we have somewhere else around there. I think we have relatively large Egyptian following, which I'm not sure if they. I'm not
totally down for some Egyptian. Like, hey, look, man, maybe they'll invite us to do a live show on the pyramids.
Oh, and as someone who has been watching Moon Knight, I'm hype.
Sick.
Yeah,
that would be so sick, right? Like if we were just like, if they
coming
like,
to you
had
live
to, like,
from the
walk
Great
us
Pyramid
up there. It's like, hey, this show's not going to be super long because I'm sliding down this muff.
But all right, guys, we are going for pop culture. We'll be watching and talking about the Doctor Strange trailer. I saw this particular one for the first time today.
This is like a concept version, right? Like that was mashed up separate.
This is the new final trailer released by Marvel Studios.
But it says concept trailer because there's another final one that's longer. This one is different than the actual final one.
Okay, so I didn't know that this was not. This is the concept trailer. We'll have the link in the thing. So go watch it. We're gonna watch it again. We'll edit that out so you don't have to just watch us look at a screen. But we can also give our input while we're watching it, and maybe we don't edit it out. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. So right off the back, and I'm going to pause it. The Ultrons, the fact that Kang is using Ultrons is fucking dope.
Absolutely, I'm going to mute mine. Watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kang is just like
immediately seeing Professor X.
Feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was where it was different, where you didn't get to see Professor X until later on in the original. But then you got Strange talking to Wanda, and she's going to be able to provide. Rachel McAdams just ran into her. Whew. I'm okay with that.
Ghost Rider.
Okay with that.
They're
friend.
teasing Ghost Rider a little bit in the beginning. They tease him a lot at the end. I mean, you got Captain Marvel and what's her name? Peggy. Was it Captain Britain?
Oh yeah. When Peggy became
Captain Britain or whatever it's called.
Captain Axis or whatever. Captain Britain.
Probably Captain Allies, not Captain Axis.
Yeah.
And then Wolverine. Yeah. Then the Wolverine at the end. I mean, that's just seeing Wolverine in there is so cool.
It is.
As someone who loves mutants and loves that entire series of movies, which we've watched on this show before, and I loved them.
I knew you were going to be super excited about that. I am too. I'm super hyped. I really need to watch Moon Knight. I don't know how involved it'll be, but obviously I like to try to watch things as they come out, order that way. So this is beyond anything that we could hope for. You would have to try everything in your possibility to ruin what this could be. With Kang and the mutants and Doctor Strange and Wanda, and there's just too much going on that you couldn't ruin this. Now, problem is going to be it's going to be too short, right? I'm going to need at least 2 more hours over whatever they're giving me. Let's just make it a TV show, right? We just have a whole season of it, and we can just keep it going. But I'm so jazzed, man.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for?
Ooh, I mean, I'm excited because this one actually looks like the new, like, I feel the same excitement when I saw the first Avengers. This is like the first big one. They've done some solo ones since Endgame, but this is the first big one where they're going to have multiple people. It's going to be a huge blockbuster, and I'm so excited.
I would say that No Way Home really did a good job of getting you all those people, but in a different way. You're talking about. We're getting all those old, that nostalgic, crew together. Whereas this is like, hey, we've watched what at this point it's like 23 movies.
Yeah.
5 TV shows. Like we're, all culminating and not even including all of the X-Men all movies that people probably watch in anticipation of this. Talking of upwards of like 40 movies. Days of our lives have gone into watching all this to culminate in something like this. I'm so excited. I haven't been this excited for a Marvel movie in a good bit.
Yeah.
I'll probably actually go see it in theaters, and that's a rarity for me to go see anything in theaters.
All right, let's move into what are you binging? It's early in the month. This is when we like to do it. I've been watching the hell out of Moon Knight. I think the season finale is tonight. I'll probably watch it with the wife tonight after the Preds game. Super excited. At first, it was going to be a series finale, but then they switched to a season, which means I guess they are going to, because they tweeted out who's ready for the series finale. Then they immediately deleted it and replaced series with season. So it looks like they will be having a second season of Moon Knight.
That's awesome. And I mean, what's the guy's name? I've totally forgot.
Oscar Isaac Oscar.
Yes. Yeah. They did my boy dirty in the sequel series of Star Wars. And so I'm super excited to see him do well. I've heard nothing but absolutely fantastic things about it. I need to get into it. But for me, it's something that's near and dear to my heart. We Own This City by George Pelecanos and David Simon. It is about the 2017 convictions of, I believe, 8 Baltimore police officers on the gun trace task force that were arrested and are spending a ton of time in jail for robbing and stealing. And this is not spoilers. This is something they kind of let you know right in the beginning. It is it's so good. It's only going to be 6 episodes, and I knew after one episode, 6 episodes wasn't going to be enough. But after watching episode 2 last night, and so I know what you're saying. Oh, you didn't binge it. Well, it turns out I've watched each episode like 6 times each. So I would say watching this much and listening to the companion podcast that HBO has put out with it, going and listening to some of the musicians that are really Baltimore and that are singing about some of these cops, reading articles written about this stuff. It has been a super, super intriguing trip.
Definitely got to watch that. I got to watch Halo. Got to watch that. I got a long list of things I got to watch.
Absolutely. We all do. It's the golden age of television, right?
Yeah.
That's why we are able to have this whole section.
All right, let's move in to what's snapping our sticks.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
Real quick, we do have our first score update. Rangers are up 1-0 on the Penguins.
Nice.
Adam Fox with an assist from Zibanejad and Chris Kreider.
Ooh.
That's what we call the old three-peat, Bob, because I have all 3 of those boys.
Nice.
So
nice. Good for you. So snap my stick this week is something I've talked about a little bit before. The Stanley Cup final, favorite time of the year, favorite postseason of all sports. I personally want it to be 1 through 16. I get that you got conferences. It's not going to happen. It's unrealistic. But 1 through 8 is realistic. And that's what should be. At the minimum is 1 verse 8. And I can't even get that.
no, that's a 100%. I think we've talked about it time and time again. You get different matchups that way. It's not as boring. It was mentioned to me by Sass. Sass mentioned it last night. Like, why do they do that? Like, bro, if I knew, they didn't ask. They didn't ask me. Like, we get the same.
Well,
matchup
you made
here
the decision. Did you tell him that you made the decision?
I didn't want to get yelled at, so I didn't tell him. But I love it. I think that it's one of those worthy ones that should go on there once a year until it actually gets changed.
Like I said, I'm of the mindset 1 through 16. Let's just have fucking chaos. That would just be insane. Because what would that be? Would that be Preds versus Florida? Maybe, I think.
That would be Preds, Florida.
Yeah.
We'd had to have been the lowest seed.
How fun would that be?
And then it would be Colorado playing Dallas.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a whole we could sit here and figure it out if we wanted to, but
it'd be a lot of fun.
I mean, my stance is 1-8. I do like to have a conference winner. I do like that aspect of things.
100%. Yeah.
Mine is the Preds going and winning in a shootout at Colorado, and then dropping the last game of the season against Arizona
with what? 4 unanswered goals, 5 unanswered goals.
It just snapped my stick, bro. I don't even know any other way to say it. I just it was frustrating. It was very frustrating, mostly because like we did a great job of giving everybody great previews of these series, and they messed us up. So now they've gone from now just not only messing with our team, but messing with our money, man. Messing with our money, bro.
But
that's all
guys,
I got.
It's been great talking with you all. From your Game of the Week winner, I want to wish you all a great week. Enjoy the Stanley Cup finals and playoffs, and we will see you all again next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.